Hey man, nice shirt.
Thank you. I got it from Amazon.
Oh, you did? I have a story about Amazon.
Yeah, I've never heard of Amazon.
Would you like to hear my story?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to read it to you because I found it on Amazon.
When are you going to read it?
Right now. Here we go. Once, when I was a teenager vacationing in Maine, I was with my brother-in-law and we were swimming in a river. There were no bathrooms in sight and I really had to go.
Go what?
I'm going to get to that. There were people around, so my options were limited. Now, you probably would think, oh, what's the big deal? You got to go number one on a river? Just let the pee-pee flow.
Yeah.
Well, you would be misled. Because
No.
in actuality, I had to go number...
Oh, peace.
Piece 2. Yeah, I know. Gross. Well, the 2 lobsters I ate from the night before were really building some pressure. And the other option would be to try to make a run for the bathroom in an unknown direction, but time was up. I had to use the cover of a flowing water. It really was the only option. Now you might be thinking, how is this a review for a movie? Well, here it is. You see, I was facing up the river from my hindquarters facing downriver. I thought this seemed the most logical way to pull this sort of maneuver off. I had never read this particular chapter in my outdoor survival guide. Meanwhile, my brother-in-law, who was named after Sean Connery, was witnessing the whole thing from the river's edge. Apparently it was like a spiritual moment for him. I think everything went into slow motion. He was captivated by the majestic movement of the culprit. Initially dove deep and then gracefully changed to an upward angled ascension followed by its sudden burst through the surface. It then splashed back down, leveling off as it continued gently floating down the stream in the free Maine waters.
This sounds like the scene in Hunt for Red October.
It is. This actually is a review for the DVD for Hunt for Red October. Yes, I should have started for this. But to this day, he still talks to me in a Sean Connery accent. Oh, by the way, in case you didn't catch it, the Red October moved like my cigar fish. It
was me.
It was him.
Welcome to another episode of the Conspiracy Kings.
The Kings.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, welcome back, constant viewer. Thanks, my daughter.
I heard some of your family hasn't even watched it.
No, my one daughter, Meg. Thanks a lot for not even.
It's like, Dad, why are you assigning me homework?
I'm singling you out, kiddo. Watch this stuff. It's good stuff.
So Chernobyl, that's what we're going to be talking about. What do you got? What pops out? What pops out to you as far as what do you remember? What's Chernobyl about?
I was 15 years old. I remember it was just a nuclear disaster. I wasn't old enough to wrap my brain around it at the time, but now that what I know about it, it's just horrific. Horrific.
Worst man-made disaster, I think, is what it's.
Wow.
What it's labeled.
Goodness.
Wow.
What do you know about it?
I was just watching Mr. Rogers and stuff.
Okay.
I was 6. But
Hi, neighbor. Can I shake all 3 of your hands?
why didn't he teach us about this? No, I just...
It's a beautiful day in the...
Yeah.
There's radioactivity in the neighborhood.
Are we going to get like a royalty strike for singing?
No, you can do a couple
Mr.
minutes. Well,
Mr.
the way I sing, I'll never get any. Nobody's ever suing me.
The computer's trying to pick up... What is he trying to sing? I'm sure you sing fine. So, what happened? There was a meltdown.
I do sing that song by the Crash Test Dummies really well. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, we can't hum the rest
Just
of
got
it.
sued.
I didn't know that song until Dumb and Dumber when they're walking in the distance, and she's like, when he catches up with him on the that little scooter where they saddle up both all together. Yeah, they do. There's a lot more notes to that. What's the name of that so they can check it out? The song
Yeah,
of
something like
Crash
that. I
Test
think that's the
Dummies.
name of
I
it,
don't even
yeah.
remember that
It's
part
not
of
a
Dumb
good
and
song.
Dumber.
We'll have to check it out. It's when the wagon, the mutt, what was it, the Old English sheepdog van?
Yeah, Mutts
Gets
and Cuts.
sold, and he comes and they're just like, it was like the part where they separate, basically. And he shows up on the horizon, Harry does. And he's like, Harry! Or no more!
That's right.
And they get 100 miles a gallon on this hog. Oh, it was Lloyd. It was Lloyd that did it. Yep. And then Harry, because Harry, the Jeff Daniels character, is walking.
You truly redeem yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of the best comedies ever.
Yes, agreed.
I can agree with that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They just don't make them like they do.
2 thumbs
anymore.
up.
So there was an accident. Some thumb jokes.
Yes. Accident, yes. Please tell me more.
There was an accident. We could get into the details. It might get kind of boring, but I would have to say the reason I am an expert on all of this is because I watched that HBO miniseries.
So highly recommend?
Oh, definitely would. Yeah.
2 thumbs up?
2 thumbs up.
All right.
Triple thumb.
Yeah. Check it out, because you'll get to know history and then also learn something that's entertaining, and it's done really well. Yeah. There's this one episode where it focuses on this young man with these other 2 guys, and they have to put down the dogs and the cats and pets stuff because they become,
yeah.
So you get to see
sad.
that one episode through his eyes, but yeah, I would recommend.
That is
the
so
whole
sad.
thing.
Why did they do that? So that they don't make babies?
Maybe part of it, but also because they're spreading and going to other towns because they're radioactive.
They can spread it?
Well, you can, just by contact, you can spread it. That's what he was saying, that there was somebody in it that was, a pregnant wife snuck in to see somebody who worked there, and she lost the baby just from contact with her husband.
So they put down people too?
Yeah. Pardon?
Did they put down people too?
I don't know if that's how they would word it in Russia.
Yeah, I think they just slowly tried to keep them alive until they just burned up inside.
Just like quarantine.
Radio. There's actually a moment in the miniseries where I wish I could remember the one actor's name, but he plays kind of the lead scientist on all of it.
Dmitri.
Yeah, and there's the
Vasily,
the man who's like the politician in it, and he's like basically the guy. He's the in Thor, the scientist in Thor, plays he's kind of like a liaison to who's the president then, Gorbachev.
Yes.
So he's like kind of that liaison to it, and so he's like, just explain it to me like I'm 5 years old, like how, and they explain how radioactive poisoning works, and for a second I knew exactly what he was talking about. Then I can't understand it anymore.
Yeah.
Shoot.
But how someone could be standing here and be fine, someone here dead within days.
That's amazing.
And then these particles move at just like ridiculous speeds.
That's so is it a matter of your own genetic makeup, or is it a matter of you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time?
I would say the latter. I mean, it's just cutting through you and ripping apart like DNA and things like that.
Cell structure.
Isotopes attack your organs.
Oh, you got into some good science words. That's impressive.
I had written
isotope. An isotope. Don't step on my isotopes. What are the gloves? The isotoner?
Yeah, that's Dan Marino.
It's science.
Oh.
But look how these particles, the isotopes you call them, how they would just like rip through you, and like you think you're fine.
It's like invisible lasers. They're just shredding you.
And then your body's ability to maintain like where your skin sits, it just starts melting. It doesn't hold.
Gosh.
And then so organs fall apart after.
So it's kind of like Peter Parker getting superpowers, but instead he dies.
Yeah, which
horribly.
Yeah.
Or melts.
It melts from the inside. Yeah.
I think Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about Hulk, and gamma rays. He's like, no, he'd be dead right away.
Yeah.
They don't make you better; they make you worse.
Yes.
So, like, what I know about Chernobyl is that people died, and then more people died, and then more people died.
Maybe to this day, there's still fallout into cancers and things that are happening.
I mean, guess how long you have to wait till it's basically inhabitable again, or safe to.
Like Chernobyl in
like
particular?
Completely gone?
Completely, yeah.
2 years.
No, sir.
5 years.
No, sir.
1,000 years.
No, ma'am.
That's too round of a number.
1,002 years?
Yeah.
Closer.
How long?
20,000 years.
Oh, gosh.
20,000 years. Because some guy had to go pee-pee and didn't check the gauges. I don't know.
Or something like there
something
was
like that.
There was a safety
there was some serious, yeah.
There was a lot of explanation in this HBO miniseries that basically was the way a lot of communism worked is when you lived there, like things were the cheapest thing to do. So they kind of bypassed some safety. It goes into it in depth. I think me re-explaining it would be kind of boring.
I get
but
it.
There are other parts.
I thought they shut down the power to have like to test their like safety protocols. So they like
they reenacted. Okay, well, what if this were to happen?
They turned everything down way too much, and then
then to take certain.
They couldn't recover. They couldn't recover it.
Got you. Wow, that's frightening.
And then death.
Yeah. So I feel like the show as a whole did a good job of keeping things accurate. They explained within the show things that were changed a little bit for the story. Like there's a woman in it, an actress that is a major role, and she represents a team of scientists. There was one scene where there's a helicopter that was flying over the reactor and it was dumping the lead, sand, water, whatever it was, and that was just like flies directly over, and apparently the radioactivity of it caused it to the helicopter.
That can mess
goes
with
down.
Mechanical.
Not sure that actually didn't happen. That was one of the things that was Hollywoodized, or Moscowized.
So did something crash? And
there was days later, a helicopter got caught in power lines or something like that.
That makes sense.
That was part of it.
Wow.
So they were pouring stuff out to try to like dissipate the
cover it. Yeah,
to cover it. You said.
Yep. Yeah, they're just to get the heat, I think, because it was still steaming a lot and smoking and everything, so they're trying to put it out. To this day, there's a building over it. They made another building over the building,
just to try to contain it.
Yeah.
Oh, like a dome of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do for the ground?
The ground, there was I believe there was something that they had to do
like
and explain it.
Wall or lead walls or whatever.
Because they would have gotten what they call the China syndrome, which is, I was like, what is China? Is that like smallpox or something? No, it's when
too many chromosomes.
It's when it goes down all the way through the earth until it hits China. So that's what the meltdown.
That's what that means.
That's a China syndrome.
I did not know that.
That's what
I thought it was like when you like really.
Means.
I thought when you really like Chinese food or something.
That's like.
It's easy
there's
to get.
no way they can just like build something all the way down like with water and like erosion and everything. Like it's all gonna spread.
Yeah, I don't think they can ever fully contain it.
Another Jim Carrey reference.
I thought you were Pet Cemetery. Rachel!
It's been a while, that one.
So why did they wait so long to like tell people?
Within the first 24 hours, I believe, so there was this one scene where they didn't take it very seriously. Like, they were trying to do what they could to cover it up. I mean, this was communism.
They were like, radiation.
Nobody has to know.
You know that monkey? He's like looking sideways. Radiation.
Yeah. Wait, is that the one? Where he's like sipping something. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
The little. There's a Kermit one where he's sipping. It's kind of like that, but then there's
Does
the
he
monkey.
have two faces?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they really didn't take it seriously until they heard that Germany had put out an order to not let any of the children outside. So that's when Russia was like, okay, maybe we should take this seriously. And that was I think that was a couple days later.
It was like 3 days. Was it like 3 days?
Yeah. But
like
there's this one scene, and I don't know how Hollywoodized this was, but it's within the first 12 hours, something happens.
Wait,
they sit
can I
down.
guess? Did like Jean-Claude come in and like kick two guys in the face and shut the reactor down?
Yeah.
That's Hollywoodized.
Yeah, that would be. Chuck Norris is just like, I'm gonna shoot it and punch you, nigga.
He's like, this was noble. Chernobyl.
Oh. Guess we'll throw out that other joke I had here later on.
Edit that one out,
pony.
This was noble. Chernobyl.
But so there's this scene, like, think of it like a round table kind of thing. You got the one diplomat guy, you got Gorbachev on the end, and this one, the main scientist throughout it. They're basically all standing up, and they're like, okay, so that's it, we're gonna like cover it up and talk about this or that, and we'll just like go on our way. And the one scientist, he like, because he probably didn't want to get his head chopped off or however he did to go against the party. He didn't want to go against the party, but he was just basically, everybody starts standing up and he's still sitting there and he's like, no, and I don't know
how accurate that was.
He hadn't spoken up.
Maybe just send a note to Gorbachev. Hey, hi. Comrades, please listen, don't kill me. Yeah, but still.
If he had taken that long, they already left the meeting. Basically, if he hadn't spoken up and they just went on their way, Europe would have been uninhabitable. Wow. The entire Earth would never have been the same.
Wow.
What it was is there was a steam. There's like these tubs. This amount of steam was building up this pressure, and basically, if the steam had built up and they needed to release it somehow, nobody was going back in. If they hadn't done that, when that exploded, everything above it, which was all the radioactive stuff, would have just
would have been like a nuclear explosion.
Bigger, way bigger.
Wow.
The fallout.
I mean, can you imagine like Europe, like like France, it would be now called the Awful Tower.
Did people have like deformed feet, like like size of like elephant feet?
Oh, you're referring to the elephant's
or like
foot.
an elephant leg?
No. It was nothing like organic per se. The elephant. You mind if I take this one?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, cool. Thanks. The elephant's foot was a mass of black corium, which everybody knows what corium. You put it on your chili.
I don't know what corium.
I don't know what it is either. I'm assuming it's very
Spicy
dangerous.
chili.
Yeah.
So it's not a human foot.
No, it was like it was a byproduct of the meltdown. It was corium that melted down with many layers externally, resembling tree bark and glass. It just was like a blob that came down. It looked like an elephant's foot.
Where did it come from? Down from the sky?
It was in reactor 4.
Reactor.
Yeah, and it was just like the corium was just like oozing out.
What did you say? Was it Corium?
Corium.
I heard
not coriander.
I
Not
heard
to be
it's
confused with coriander. Still safe.
the rarest material on Earth is Corium.
Is it
because
really?
it only can happen when there's a meltdown, and there's only been a few.
So is it like when the lava turns into like...
in Russia or Ukraine?
Sorry.
What happened?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Sean. It's not your fault.
Is it like when lava turns into that other stuff?
No, this is more nuclear.
Magma.
It's probably like a
Is it
highly
like
yes,
that?
yes,
Okay.
a highly radioactive magma.
And
Well, I know exactly what corium is then.
If you wanted to picture what it looked like, magma's
And it's
a great
still
way.
there, still dangerous. And it says, where was it in my notes? It says, it is one small part of a much larger mass that lies beneath reactor 4 of the power plant.
So
It
do
says
they
if you're
build
within 3 feet for 200 seconds, you're deed.
Man, that's like at the heart of it. That is like the,
Yeah. You're just gonna. Yeah, and I think didn't you say that they had to use like a series of mirrors initially just to view it, because if you looked at it, it would just like burn your eyes, or no, they couldn't get near it. That's what it was. They wanted to see what it looked like.
Sure.
It's just interesting stuff.
It's just so weird, radioactivity, and just trying to comprehend it.
Wasn't there something about the firemen's clothes?
Oh, yeah, that is, when we talk about radioactivity, there's a scene where all the firemen who just like basically showed up and think they're putting out a fire. They don't really know what's going on.
Oh,
so they're just doing their job. They all end up back at the hospital, and they notice that something big is going down. They're obviously being irradiated. Yeah. So they take all their fireman gear, clothes, and like they show this one nurse who's like carrying all their clothes. They're like, yeah, just put it downstairs or whatever.
Is she dead?
I don't know. But she took it, they brought it down, she put it in this room, and like there's this like eerie shot of it near the end. Spoiler alert, sorry. But it did happen in 1986. So. They say to this day, if you go near the clothes, they are deadly.
That's insane.
The clothes are still there?
The clothes are still sitting. Oh, most stuff is all just sitting there. Yeah,
I'm
check
sure
out.
she did.
Yeah. I'm guessing a
She
lot.
probably that night.
Yeah,
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of the
Oh yeah.
few days or whatever for
All that
everything to start
surface area.
Because what happens is basically just it just starts ripping through you, and you don't really notice it at first. Some people get nauseous right away.
You just start like blood starts coming out of your orifices.
Yeah. Because it's just there's nothing there to hold it together. There's no communication to tell your skin to hold on or something.
That's awful.
But there's other times too where you can get hit, and then like a week later you'll get nauseous. I think that might be the lower dosage. But yeah, it's crazy. I'm not a radioactive scientist.
Yeah.
One last thing I wanted to talk about. Surprise to you. Communism. Are you for it or against it?
Against it myself.
It's a good answer.
Against
Good
it.
answer, yeah. As someone who was raised by someone who went through the 50s and everything was, like very American and anti-communism, I never experienced it. I didn't live in a country where there was communism to understand, okay, why is it evil? People are getting taken care of, it seems like, anyway. People are...
My problem with communism is, if that's your bag, hey, that's you go do it over there. But the common flaw I see with communism is that you shoot people that want to leave. You try and keep them in your country, and that tells me right there it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
Definitely a
I
conspiracy.
mean, every system's flawed, but yeah, and it's just now. And another problem I have with it is that it's in their manifesto to engulf the world with it.
Yeah,
and that's just. Sorry,
Right.
that's your thing. You go do your thing over there. Don't bother me.
Yeah. Well, something that this miniseries painted was how they needed to cover it up. They literally were trying to cover up the reactor, and then also verbally and explain it away with something else, some kind of cover story. And like I was talking about before, it was like a breath away from annihilating the world. That was what was causing that, because there was this fear that communism cannot be fallible, because it's almost like a deity. So if you have an imperfect God,
it's a fracture in their system.
It doesn't work.
Wow.
And there's actually a quote at the end where it says, it was from Gorbachev, basically confessing later, years down the road, that the whole Chernobyl, what was that a map of on his forehead?
I think it was Italy.
He's in the wrong country. He had a birthmark on his forehead. We should put a picture down here.
Right.
There.
Mike is gonna love this.
Right here.
Spiral.
But yeah, basically he said that incident was the beginning of the end of communism in the USSR.
That's amazing.
Funny side note. Where was Chernobyl located?
I thought it was Russia till I was doing my research, and it was in my crane.
My crane?
No, your crane.
Our crane.
My notes say the Soviet Union. Is that the same thing?
Soviet Union. So very good.
It was the Soviet Union.
So Soviet Union, it was part of it.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing that
your
back
crane.
Up. Which would have been part of the USSR?
Yes. United Socialist Republic.
So why is this a conspiracy? That's what I don't understand.
That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
Just because they tried to hide it?
Yeah, my opinion on it is the word conspiracy basically is like two or more people trying to do something that's illegal. There's a longer explanation of it. Yeah.
I thought it was like people are like disagreeing even now on how things happened.
So I think that would be a theory. So at this point, I don't think it's a theory anymore. It's not really viewed as a theory, because they came forward and supposedly we now know like the full truth of most everything.
Do we?
Yeah.
So it's not a conspiracy theory.
I have more theories.
You have theories?
I do.
Conspiracy theories?
I do.
I want to hear them. Do you want to hear them?
Okay.
Let's hear it right after movie time.
Movie time!
It's movie time. Darling, we're headed to the cinema.
All right, people, it's movie time.
Movie time!
I think this whole thing up until now has been about the HBO Max miniseries, which I will definitely give at least one thumb up on that one.
Awesome. Not two?
It's really good.
Sweet.
There's going to be more thumbs later.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Here's another one that I've never seen is Chernobyl Diaries.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh.
I watched the trailer. The trailer's really cool.
It's a good trailer.
And I read the reviews. It's not a good movie, but check it out if you like it. It's about some tourists go into the remains of the city and the reactor, and they're, I don't want to give it away, but there's something stalking them, and they one by one slowly disappear.
Is it radioactivity?
I think so.
Stalking. What else?
The Russian Woodpecker was a film made in 2015. Yes, which I'm not going to get too much into this movie. It looks really good. Watch the trailer, and I think you'll find more interest in it after I get to one of our theories after this one. It's a really good theory.
Did you watch this one?
I watched the trailer.
Okay. You still haven't seen any of
We've
these?
done our homework, ladies.
No.
I mean, gentlemen.
No.
Yeah. This is where you get your source of inspiration
I
right here.
know, right? We're cinephiles.
What about
Chernobyl
White
for
Horse?
Dummies, that's what I...
What?
I don't know what you said.
I watched Chernobyl for Dummies.
That's how you...
Thumbs up?
Triple thumb.
And now you feel like you can just like own the show right now, huh? I watched a miniseries and now I'm an expert on it.
Hey, you know what?
You watched Chernobyl for Dummies?
I know.
It's very explanatory.
You knew about like isotopes or something.
I sure did.
Yeah. White Horse. You ever see that?
No.
Me neither. But it's about a man returning to Pripyat after it was evacuated. He was a child and he goes back, and I think it's kind of like he's like, oh, this used to be cool. Now it's not.
I mean, it's like, why are we telling people to watch these
I
things?
like to give information. I like to give information.
And here's a list of movies we have not watched, but we are recommending.
Yeah.
Actually, there is a list. One of my sons and I will just be like, "Hey, you want to watch some Russian sci-fi?" And there's stuff out there. It's pretty good. There's
dude, as they say at the Chiquita plant, that's bananas.
Speaking of bananas are radioactive.
No way.
You could eat like 100 of them and get sick.
Wait,
That's
all
nuts.
bananas? All bananas?
Probably from the bananas.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Well, everything around us has radioactivity.
But like all bananas everywhere?
That's what I've heard.
Like even American bananas.
I don't know.
They don't grow here, do they?
Yeah, they did. We used to grow up in our backyard.
In Florida.
Yeah.
They grow there. They're little ones though, right?
They're wee little bananas.
They're little baby
They're
bananas.
little pygmy bananas.
So how many of those could you eat?
I don't know,
200.
more. So anyway, the Russian sci-fi, the cinema there is pretty decent. The special effects, it seems like there's one guy that like stars in all of them.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
He's like a Freddie
He's the
Prinze
Arnold.
Jr., like
Oh, is that
a
what he is?
Russian version of it. Freddie Prinze.
Freddie Prinze.
One movie called Attraction, and there's like a sequel or two from that. But
Attraction
it's
2.
like aliens. And
Still attracted hard.
this is narrated by
Attraction
Arnold.
2 harder.
Arnold.
I'm sorry, my Russian accent sucks.
Yes, go ahead and watch Attraction. I've actually seen it, not just seen the trailer. Another one, and this one I put at the top of the list, other than the HBO, well, it's not Russian, Coma.
Coma.
Did you ever see the Christopher Nolan Dreams movie? What's called Inception?
Yes, I
That's
have.
the best way you could probably describe it.
Gotcha. Just moving
see
environment. And things
There's
like
a
that.
person in a coma and in this world.
Landscapes or
Yeah, just like confusing gravity.
gotcha. Yeah.
There's another one on here, Guardians.
I have seen that trailer.
The trailer. No, you told me about this one. It was interesting. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's like if the Russians made the Avengers. That's
Okay.
pretty much what it is.
Okay.
And the one thing about that I find, and maybe it's just me being American and used to our cinema, I just find that the acting is just subpar. The special effects they're spot on. You know what I mean? It's
but are
just-
you watching the dubbed?
that could
Because
be it,
that's
too.
what I've seen. The
Maybe that's
people
what
who
it
are
is.
then translating what's going on, their acting is terrible. The voice dubbing actors, and it can ruin a movie.
Maybe
for
that's
you.
what it is
True.
because it comes off as a B movie to me, and
Yeah.
it just that's why I started watching Guardians, and it just lost me.
Oh,
I was
maybe
like, ugh.
we should try the subtitles
Okay.
once and see if that's any better. Because then like people are like, oh, the book is so much better.
Yeah.
If you read the movie, it must be
Douchebag.
way better.
Right? But it's funny because like one of the characters, like we have the Hulk, they have like this big Russian bear man who's
Well,
like,
you gotta put the
You gotta
bear
have a
in there,
bear.
the Russian
Yeah.
bear.
Funny.
so yeah,
Hey, Captain Russia.
it's the best movie I've ever seen from Russia in a trailer.
Yeah, you'll have him watch it. All right, there's one more on here.
One more trailer?
You saw this though, right? Hardcore Henry.
Oh, Hardcore Henry's great.
Made in
is
Moscow.
great. It is filthy. It's got violence. It's got nudity. It's got language, but
For the
it's
kids.
In
Then.
the trailer?
great for the no. I actually saw that. I actually own the movie. I bought it.
And
Believe
you
or not.
watched it?
And I watched it. I watched it on airplanes on my iPad. But it's a first-person shooter type concept. You only really see the guy once in a reflection, but it's him. It's just I showed you the trailer.
First
The
person.
violence is just off the wall. He's just there's got to be like 1,000 deaths in that movie. It's fun. It's like watching a video game in real life.
So tentatively recommend it.
Yes. If you like action, and Charlton Copley, one of his greatest roles ever. That's the guy from the A-Team. He played Murdoch.
Mm.
He's phenomenal. I almost Charlton Copley my pants.
Oh, one more. Stalker. Stalker.
Oh, is that the one with Chuck Norris? He's like a Texas Ranger.
No,
Oh,
this is Russian.
is it the one with Chuck Norris?
No, it's not that one.
Oh, okay. Well,
Is that the one that was made in 79?
Yes. Where's the
Ooh!
78? Yeah, that
oh,
was the one.
tell me about it.
79.
Well, what's crazy is it kind of feels like people that are going, because they call it like the zone, and it's by Tarkovsky.
Oh, I love his music.
He's good.
That's Tchaikovsky.
This is the movie director
Oh,
Tarkovsky.
my bad.
And yeah,
It's
he
all
goes.
Greek to me.
I think it's Russian.
Oh, my bad.
This guy brings people on tours into this place, and it kind of feels like it would be like a Chernobyl or something like that, but it's not. It was made in '79, so it couldn't have been 1986
It's impossible.
Chernobyl.
It's impossible.
But yeah, it's like this zone kind of thing. But he was like the top of his class as far as directors go. This Tarkovsky. If you want to change a pace, it's very slow moving, but it's like very introspective.
Okay. Have to be in the right mindset for that type of film.
Definitely. Yeah. If you want to fall asleep, watch it.
Cool. Thanks, Google.
It's movie time. Darling, we're headed to the cinema.
So I've got another conspiracy theory about what happened there. Are you familiar with the Mothman, or as they call it over there?
Why did you punch the table?
Because
what did it ever do to you?
I'm angry.
Did you?
They call it the black.
You just punched it. Did you just punch it again?
Punched it again.
Why?
This is not perfectly.
Is it like for luck and knock on wood?
I have pushed this away slowly.
What did they call the? I don't want to spoil it.
The blackbird
of Chernobyl.
Chernobyl.
The blackbird, but also known as
the Mothman in the States. The Mothman, if you're familiar with the Mothman prophecies and Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Episode for another time. Hashtag not next week.
Is it like the movie with like the moth?
No, I think you're thinking of The Sounds of the Lambs.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, very similar in stories.
Okay.
Very similar. Buffalo Bill and Mothman. Very similar. But some people, they in the States here and even over there, they considered it a harbinger of doom or a herald of tragedy about to happen. And there are sources that say that they saw a black-winged man-like creature around Chernobyl the day of or the day before the accident.
Yeah, weeks before, somebody had gone out to their car or something and said they saw something. They saw something screaming back in.
Yeah.
And then also the day of, there was like a whole helicopter crew that they all said they saw it. It's a man-like.
Yeah, it's like
red
a
eyes.
bipedal with wings.
Yeah, they said it had no head but had red eyes. So I don't know how that works.
Yeah, that's like, unless he's been working traps really hard.
No neck.
What were they smoking then? What were they smoking?
But I did not know about the Mothman until you told me to check out this part.
I thought that was interesting, yeah.
I say, even though it's not about Chernobyl, let's continue talking about the Mothman.
The Mothman I find he's fascinating. What the Mothman comes from here is that the same thing, that they saw him following people through the air, screeching, tracking them down. He would just show up, and it was...
What did it sound like? That's screeching?
Something like... And it was like...
Do it with a Russian accent now. It's more in the back of throat. You gotta just let it. With the screech. I think of like the Black Riders in Lord of the Rings. They're like...
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
We gotta do it with a Russian accent.
I would agree. Yeah, we need to drink vodka.
Drink it all.
Was he actually hurting people?
No,
or
he
was
would
he
chase
warning
them.
people?
That's what they say. He was warning. And the movie's fascinating. I know it, once again, Hollywood eyes, but there's a lot of tie-ins with the name Indra Cold, which we can't even get into that today. That's another
question. You're talking about the movie specifically?
The movie and the...
So did the movie have multiple locations? Did it cover multiple locations?
Mostly took place in West Virginia.
With the bridge.
With the bridge, which eventually collapsed and killed a lot of people.
So it showed up a bunch of times on this bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Many people saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Eyewitnesses all said the same thing.
Yep.
It was in like the 60s or something.
I want to say it was the 70s.
And then
I'm not
like
sure, maybe 60s. I think it was 70s.
Days later, weeks later, whatever, the bridge collapsed. This is where they kept seeing it.
Yep. And there was a tie-in with Indrid Cold, which was making mysterious phone calls, which, we can't get into that, but it's still fascinating nonetheless. Yeah, Harbinger of Doom.
So you think the Mothman is a good dude or a bad dude?
Well, nobody saw him like blowing up Chernobyl, nor did they see him dismantling the bridge. If I believed in him, I'd say he was just in the middle. He wasn't good nor bad. He was just maybe like I said, Harbinger. A herald.
Can you explain it with science, or is it more supernatural?
I'd have to say supernatural. How about you?
What if I probably didn't make up this theory, but what if it was someone from the future trying to warn people in the past,
like
and
the
that
Flash.
was the only way they could see it? Yeah, like
that's
the
Flash.
Key. Yeah,
Lois is the key.
And it just looks like, because it's distorted from another space and time or something, it just looks like this this Batman.
Or maybe he doesn't know how to communicate with us, but he's just trying to warn us.
Yeah.
I have a theory, though.
Let us hear.
What if he worked there at the plant and he knew it was going to happen? So he, whatever that red thing, like he had on some type of mask because he knew something was going to go down. So he was already protecting himself with this suit and this.
Oh, it's a radioactive suit. He's like, by day my name is Dmitri. By night I am Mothman.
It was a theory. If he was coming as a herald.
Oh, I mean, any superhero.
He knew what was going to happen. He had to protect himself.
Not any less or more ridiculous than the other theories.
No, I think that's a great theory. Goes along with like the superhero kind of thing. He's a devil.
I think it's a great theory.
Kind of.
Identity. There's a whole town dedicated.
Or he's just protecting himself.
Yeah. There's a whole town.
There'd have to be a Russian one and an American one, unless it's the same guy.
And maybe it was like, kind of like, what was it, Man from U.N.C.L.E., they were working together. It's a Russian and American guy. Horrible reference.
No, it was perfect, because we're Americans and we're talking about a Russian thing.
Armie Hammer and Henry Cavill.
Yes.
Underrated movie.
Yeah.
It was solid.
But there's a West Virginia town dedicated to this
place.
Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Police department.
It has like a full-on statue
They do,
in town
statue.
square.
Yeah, they embrace it.
To Mothman?
It's a Mothman.
They have festivals every year. They have like diners
Mothman festivals?
where you can get like the Mothman burger or whatever it
I want
is.
to go there.
Have you ever smelled mothballs?
I think so as a child.
Did you? Did you hold them up by the wings?
No. Mothball. Oh, gosh. Sorry, that was hard.
Harbinger of death.
Harbinger of death.
Oh, my God.
And now it's time for...
How funny is that? It's funny because it's a pun.
First up, you got to do this one with a Mike Tyson type of speech.
That's a super.
Where do the Mothmen bury the dead?
Where?
In a mausoleum. The moth. I can't say it without.
Do you know why they didn't respond as fast as they should have when the reactor melted down?
No.
Why?
Because they were Stalin.
The ghost of Stalin might have still been around.
Oh.
It seems I can't find the border between Russia and Alaska using my compass.
Why is that?
I couldn't get my bearings straight.
Did you hear about the guy that risked his life to save the power plant from a nuclear meltdown?
No.
He was Chernobyl.
Chernobyl, like Chernobyl, but it's sure and nobly did a good deed. What do you call a Russian leader on a cracker?
I don't know, but it
What?
sounds tasty.
Yeah.
Putin on the lip. No, I messed it up. Does it matter that I messed up this joke? Should I just say it again? The punchline was Putin on the Ritz. Because Putin. Putin, he's the president there. I gotta go to the bathroom.
I love when you mess up stuff.
He's gotta do the wee-wees.
So funny.
How funny is that? It's funny because it's a pun.
Well, since Josh is doing the pee-pees, why don't we take some calls from our fans? Call in, the lines are open. Oh, we got one right now. Hello, this is the Conspiracy Kings. Who am I speaking with?
Hello. Who are you?
This is Steve from the Conspiracy Kings. Who are you?
Yeah, I was looking for Sean.
Well, in Russian, my name is Sean.
Great name. Sean Connery played excellent commanding of Vessel.
Wessel.
You know that Hunt for the Brown October.
Oh, yes, I've seen that too many times, sir. One too many times. So where are you from and what do you do?
I just flew in from Chernobyl, and boy, are my arms legs.
Sounds like you got a little mutation problem going there, sir.
I'm just kidding. I actually just ran from Chernobyl, and boy, are my legs arms. Yeah, just the same ingredient, same joke. It still makes funny.
Have you ever actually been to Chernobyl?
I live there.
Oh, you did? Oh, so what? Do you like it?
I give tours of the tourist attractions.
Oh, so
you know what I think? You come see it. I give it 5 thumbs up.
Oh, 5 thumbs up on your own hand?
All on one hand. 5 thumbs on one.
Oh, that's bananas, man.
I'm all thumbs. That's what they say.
Oh, so are you a happy person over there?
Yes, of course. We can always tell who's happy over there.
How's
The
that?
people that are most happy are wagging their tails.
Oh goodness, you guys have tails. Oh boy, that's
Well, it's funny because humans don't have tails, animals have tails, and we wag them.
you wag those tails, man. You be happy.
Hey, get this, I was an exchange student in Chernobyl.
Oh, you were. Where were you at before Chernobyl?
I don't remember for this joke,
Okay.
but I can tell you,
Yes.
as a student there were so many extra-testicular activities.
I'm sure, man. I bet you guys had a ball.
PE was crazy.
Oh, well, thank you, caller. It's time to get back to our show. Call in any time.
Have a good day.
Are you too? We'll be back after these messages. Hello, this is the Conspiracy Kings. Who am I speaking with? So, I'd like to talk about the Russian Woodpecker.
Woodpecker.
Yes, Woodpecker. Nice accent. It's funny, you sound a lot like the caller we had on here while you were dropping a Duga 3.
Just a what's a Duga 3?
Yeah, that's what they called the radar site that I'm about to talk about.
That was good segue.
Thank you. But Dimitri was cool. I wish you were here to hear him.
I didn't miss anything.
Okay.
From what I understand. Please proceed about the doogie.
I will. Step 1. So this was a huge early warning detection site for U.S. missiles that was built in the vicinity of Chernobyl. It was called Duga 3, and it emitted what they call the Woodpecker. It had like a bunch of tappy-tap sounds, and nobody knew what it was over in NATO or what we didn't know.
Can we put that sound in post so that they can hear it? Ready, listen, pretend. Do you hear it? And then make like gestures of like,
yeah, it's very woodpeckery.
I mean, was the radio station was it would you say it was active?
It was active first time being.
Would you say it's radioactive?
It was now.
Was it a frequency that they were just blasting out going around the world?
I guess I really don't know
like
how it
sonar
works.
bouncing off of things.
I guess something to that
jamming.
effect. Something to that effect.
Strawberry.
Sure.
And they aimed it north, from what I understand.
Yes.
It went up over the pole and
Over the
through
poles.
Canada. For those that believe in round Earth.
Yeah, I know. So, when they fired it up, this cost trillions of rubies, whatever they spent over there. And they never took into account the effects of Aurora Borealis, and it rendered it absolutely useless. Did not work. So the theory is that the higher ups that made this thing decided to, if they sabotage Chernobyl and nobody can enter to that portion of the Ukraine again, that nobody would ever know, and it would be scrapped and blamed on the power plant. But that worked well. But yeah, that's the theory. It's interesting.
So you think the Aurora Borealis was part of it? Like Santa, because he's making those northern lights. It's like peace on Earth.
Hey,
Goodwill, man, we're not going to have any.
Maybe it was UFOs.
Was that another segue? Do you have any
another
more Chernobyl
segue? I have one last one. That there are some people that say, well, I saw this in a show called what was it called? Wellington Paranormal. He goes, let us know if you see any UFOs. He goes, but if we see them and we identify them, are they just flying objects?
It's like a New Zealand comedy X-Files.
Yes. Have you seen it?
Just the trailer.
Comedy gold. So there are some people that say they saw a UFO days before or that day over the reactors, but there's also, it's fascinating because there's people that also say that there have been UFOs around the world over nuclear facilities, whether it be reactors and submarines or aircraft carriers, or even here in the States, on the mainland, and some have been rendered inoperable because of the UFOs. And I mean, that's the whole theory of the UFOs are stopping us from destroying ourselves. If we're, the whole theory that UFOs didn't show up till after we became nuclear capable. But another interesting story, or theory.
Could be us from the future trying to warn our
It could be.
past selves.
It could be, yeah. It's the key is Lois. The key is Lois. So yeah, but it gives off the UFOs things, and yeah, it's really cool.
Hey, thanks for joining us this week. We appreciate the viewership. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, there was. That I actually heard the woodpecker. I saw it on a show. Yeah, the guy was like, he held up and he's like, I have the woodpecker. We hear it. And then all his peers were like, oh my gosh, do you really have it? And he's like, yeah. And so he turns the mic and he shows him and he turns the out up and he here it is. And he goes,
Oh man, that's it.
Russian caller. Well, since Josh is doing the pee-pees from his gadget, maybe it's time to take some calls from our kids.
No, you can't. You can't.